Wiggins, the team leader in walks this season, 16 of them on the season, 16 walks to just 7 strikeouts. He's got enough plate discipline for the entire team, really. 3-1 pitch, green light, a rocket. No doubt about it. Andrew Wiggins deep over the right field wall. It's a run-1 game. 2-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. That one wasn't missed by Williams. Will it stay playable for Wiggins? It will not. Goodbye, baseball. Josh Williams has his second long ball of the day. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Payoff pitch from Bennis to Rowe. Poked right center field. That one will split the gap out in right center. Wiggins giving chase. Rounding third and heading home is Nowak. Rounding second and heading to third. He'll dive in safely without a throw is Brennan Rowe. He's got his 4th hit of the ball game, and he adds to the Northern Kentucky lead here in the 7th. Starting to come down, Wiggins. Off his hands, it's down in left field. A base hit for Andrew Wiggins, and Indiana pulls another run closer. That will score Hogan Denny from third. Back here in Bloomington, it's a 9-2 lead for the visitors, the Northern Kentucky Norse over the Indiana Hoosiers here on Big Ten Plus. We're headed for the home half of the 5th inning with Indiana bringing to the plate 3, 4, and 5. Corbin Dickerson, Joey Brancheski, and Jake Hanley due up here in the home half of the frame for Indiana. It's an Indiana team, Andrew, that is looking for some runs. Just 2 runs on 5 hits for an offense that looked like it was finding its stride this weekend. They've been shut down so far today.
You're right. You're absolutely right in saying that, Zach. You've been pretty much stymied by this NKU defense, and the pitching staff has performed pretty well on the mound. You look at it, Sackenheim's still out there, a guy who has not a ton of velocity, but excellent movement on his breaking ball pitches. So they'll look to employ those to great effect like he did in the last inning.
You know, Andrew, opposition aside, Indiana put up 18 runs, 8 runs twice, and 20 runs this past weekend in Florida, again, against Mount St. Mary's and Stetson. But still, the offense looked like it had been finding its groove a little bit, and it's an offense that has not been able to string together multiple hits today. They've gotten some guys in scoring position, but Corbin Dickerson really the catalyst for much of what Indiana has done offensively so far to begin the season. He's 0 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, you got to finish the job at the plate.
Dickerson, of course, made a fantastic play defensively back in the 2nd to lead off the top of the 2nd inning. A diving catch out in center, but he's still waiting for his first hit of the ball game.
A breaking ball that hangs at eye level, and lucky for Sackenheim because that's 72 miles an hour. If that's 3-4 inches lower, right in the kind of power zone for Dickerson, that ball's going a long way.
Swung on, 2-1 pitch. That will send Williams back to the track. He's at the warning track, and that's all he will have to do to make the catch. He brings it in for out number 1. Dickerson flies out to the warning track to begin the bottom of the 5th. He's now 0 for 3 today as Joey Brancheski steps up.
For Dickerson, that might have been one that was hurt a little bit by the wind. So maybe some help from the wind for NKU, but nonetheless, opposite field tried to go the other way with it. Got the barrel on the ball, launched it a little bit too high for it to get out of the park.
Joey Brancheski now up to the plate, 1 for 2 on the day. He had a single back in the 1st, grounded out to the right side of the infield, back in the 3rd. Brancheski has been one of the better hitters in Indiana's lineup to begin the season as well, an OPS north of 1,000. And a batting average north of 400. A couple of long balls on the season as well as he takes a healthy cut at that one and fouls it off.
I believe a switch hitter as well.
Brancheski has the ability and the capability to bat from both sides of the plate. Don't see him flip-flop too often. He's one of those guys like a Tommy Edman that if he likes his matchup from a certain side of the plate, he's not necessarily going to go with the righty-lefty matchup.
Right. Today, if my memory serves me correct, which often sometimes doesn't, but I believe we saw him take the righty stance against Bartlett.
Now batting lefty here against the righty Sackenheim. He's ahead 3-1. Trying to reach base for the 2nd time today. He's reached base a lot this season. 6th in the Big Ten in on-base percentage at .556 coming into today. It's called strike number 2 on the inner third of the plate.
Now you got to protect.
Sackenheim delivers the 3-2. It's fouled off into the protective netting.
He just caught the top of it, and reminds me one time I was out at a game at Wrigley Field this summer. Player let go of his bat. The bat got stuck in the netting.
It's always a scare. That's why they had the protective netting.
Thank goodness for it, because it is. There's been some times where it was needed and it wasn't there in baseball history.
3-2 the count to Brincheski. Wind still blowing out to left field, right to left across the outfield. I've seen it help in some instances and hurt in some others for both sides so far today, as Brincheski has a 1-out walk. He's reached for now the second time today.
And he's good at drawing walks as well. Coming into this one even when it comes to drawing walks and striking out. Now he's drawn 8 and struck out 7 times on the year.
True freshman Jake Hanley now up to the plate. Hanley singled. He's responsible for Indiana's 2 RBIs on the day. He had a 2 RBI base hit back in the first. He's counted for all 2 of Indiana's runs scored so far today, Hanley has. A Mason, Ohio native, 6'6", 235 pounds, definitely has the size to play first base. Hanley hitting .389 on the year, which might come as a little bit of a surprise to maybe even his manager. Talking with Jeff Mercer before the season started, he was expecting some slight growing pains offensively from Hanley, but he was going to be in the lineup pretty much every day because of what he does on the defensive side of the ball at first base. But Hanley's offense has not shown any signs of adjusting to the college game so far.
No, not at all. He has succeeded in every facet when it comes to hitting the baseball, and that is huge for a first baseman. I can't seem to time up Sackenheim right now at the moment.
Of course, Indiana, recent lineage of first baseman. Brock Tibbetts handing off the reins of first base, drafted this past summer to Jake Hanley, who Indiana expects to have an impact similar to Tibbetts as Hanley takes the 2-2 pitch inside for ball 3. Indiana just 3 hits today with runners on base. They're 3 for 13. It's one of those situations right now for Hanley with Brincheski aboard at first, who is 1 for 1 in the stolen base department this season. 3-2 pitch on its way to Hanley. Popped up left side. That one will tail out of play.
And out of the stadium, takes a bounce off the concrete up top.
Hanley, one of 2 freshmen in the lineup this afternoon for Indiana. The other is Cooper Malamazian in that 9-hole playing third base as Hanley watches a 3-2 pitch outside. It's ball 4. Back-to-back walks for the Hoosiers. Have runners on first and second with still 1 out.
There is a righty warming up for the Norse in the pen at the moment. But like we've talked about a couple of times, this batting order from 1 through 9 is able to pop one at most times during the game.
It's a lineup that can put up runs on the scoreboard in a hurry. One of the more potent offenses in the Big Ten a season ago, as we have a meeting on the mound. Still no move to the bullpen yet for Northern Kentucky. As I was talking about, Indiana, one of the better offenses in the Big Ten last season. 482 runs scored. That was first in the Big Ten. As we have a meeting on the mound, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the rest of the bottom of the 5th on Big Ten Plus. Back here in Bloomington, Tyler Cerny up to the plate. Takes a first pitch inside from Sackenheim. Still out on the mound, just a meeting of the minds. No pitching change for Northern Kentucky there. Cerny 1 for 2 today, looking to break out of a slight slump. Again, a slump for his standards. Cerny hitting .268 on the season. An all Big Ten caliber shortstop.
I will be interested to see how long Dizzy Payton wants to leave Sackenheim in the game.
He's got a 9-2 lead, so he's got a little bit of a cushion. As Cerny skies this one into shallow center field. Ranging out from his shortstop position is Rowe to make the grab behind the second base bag for out number 2.
Now Oliver's left to tried to prevent his teammates being stranded on the bases.
Oliver 0 for 2 today. Stepping in here with a runner in scoring position, hitting just 157 on the season, takes a first pitch from Sackenheim for a called strike 1.
He shakes his head there. That's one that he wanted to read better out of the pitcher's hand by his standards. Like we mentioned kind of with Cerny, but by most people's standards, he's kind of struggled from the plate thus far this year.
The one pitch is fouled off. Oliver last season as a freshman in 2024 was an all Big Ten freshman team selection. He won Big Ten Freshman of the Week at one point last year. He actually set a single game freshman RBI record for Indiana against Minnesota last season. He had 8 in a contest out in Minneapolis, as this one is skied down the right field line. A trio of Norse in the area, but that one drops down. It was Altman that made a sprawling attempt at a catch. It fell fair, and Indiana will scratch across a run as Brancheski comes around to score. Into second goes Oliver. A bloop double for the Indiana second baseman puts the Hoosiers back on the board. It's 9-3 in the 5th.
Yeah, I mean, it'll count as a double. It's not what you would usually think of as a double, and it'll bring up Skyler, who 0 for 2, or 0 for 1, I should say, but maybe he's able to bring back some of that magic from the Northwestern game earlier in the year and put something on the board, and just a little bit of a miscommunication. Looks like the second baseman, Altman, called off Miranda when that really probably should have been Williams' ball.
It's a tough play. It landed right there in the Bermuda Triangle of right field, second base, and first base. Altman probably had a better play than Miranda did, but Williams from right field probably had the best shot, but he shaded a little bit off the line. Skyler will take an 0-1 pitch. That's out in the center field. That one will touch down. 2 will score for Indiana as TJ Skyler comes through with runners in scoring position. It's 9-5 Northern Kentucky after a 2 RBI base hit from TJ Skyler.
That's a huge hit from Skyler. Excellent job for a guy who's not the most experienced player on the roster, but puts Indiana back in striking distance. They're only down by 4 at this point. That's a big momentum swinger for Indiana. No other way to say it.
We've mentioned how important Skyler's performance this past weekend was, just the sheer quantity of innings he caught due to Jake Stadler's absence. As Cooper Malamazian steps up to the plate, looks like Northern Kentucky is going to go to the bullpen here with 2 outs and a runner on here in the bottom of the 5th. 3 already across for Indiana in this frame, thanks to, in part, TJ Skyler's 2 RBI base hit. We'll be back in just a few moments.